Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Learning Left-Handed. Now, before we begin, I want to give a big shout out to my best friend in the world. Thank you, Brad, for having a great little adventure with me to Frankfurt. I hope you don't mind me telling them all about it. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Frankfurt is in southern Germany. It's a lovely place, honestly. Very clean, lots of fun, relatively cheap. We got the flights via Lufthansa, which I will talk about more in a little bit. And the whole thing came about 300 quid plus about probably 100 quid on food and souvenirs for various people we cared deeply for. Honestly, a lot of fun. We got to see a lot of things. We went to the zoo, which was absolutely massive. We spent about 4 hours there and realised there's still more to see. We just simply run out of time. Another thing that we did, which was quite fun, we somehow stumbled into a food festival right on the main river. And it was amazing. We've never been in a place where so many different types of food and live music, free wine, overpriced other drinks. Honestly, the apple vine, which was basically cider from what I could see, was so expensive, and that's sort of like their national drink, at least local drink. Obviously, we had to try the local lager, or even though it wasn't a local lager this time. You know how I like doing that? It was local pills, which was absolutely everywhere. And that was lovely to drink on the beach. And now you're thinking to yourself, hang on, he said he was 400 miles from the nearest sea line. How is there a beach? Well, my friends, there was lots of quarrying done around Frankfurt about 100 years ago and still going on today. But they had to do something with that land. So they filled it with water, added some aggregate sand, and boom, made a nice little beach. Honestly, it was lovely. You had to pay 6 quid to get in, but that gave you free bathrooms and free showers and such. It was really good, to be honest. We sat there, went there a couple evenings, and we just sat there and enjoyed the sunshine, went for a swim, and I'll post the little videos I did take on the underwater cam on the YouTube channel. You know where it is. It is the White Viking, and it'll be on there. Hopefully you'll have a look. After that, we tried so many different types of food. We tried empanadas. We tried Korean fried chicken. We tried about 3 different types of German sausage. We had something which I'm not going to try and pronounce, but it was basically a baked potato with pulled pork on top of it. It was gorgeous. Really enjoyed that. A bit of sour cream on top. Lovely. Really enjoyed that. We had, honestly, such amazing food. The whole thing was great. We had slushies, of course. We found giant pretzels that were €3. That were bigger than my head. And I've got a rather big head, so you can imagine how big that is. It was honestly an amazing... We did all this in 2.5 days. Now, let me talk about Lufthansa. Now, Lufthansa is now officially my favourite airline because they just treated you so well on there. That you were given little bits of chocolate, you were given some water. It was so smooth. It was like going, well, there's no turbulence, there was no nothing. It was just calm. I do wish I tried their apple strudel thing. That looked really nice. But outside of that, I really enjoyed the whole thing. Frankfurt Airport was interesting. Because, it was just, instead of it being like, you had to walk past more or less everything in a line. So picture, it was just like 2 branches and everything was based around those 2 branches. It was difficult to navigate at first, but we got there eventually. To get through customs and security, we didn't have to take out any drinks at all, which is brilliant. Just went straight through. It was a calm, respectful place. I've never felt more at ease in an airport before. Now, I've rabbited on about my holiday for quite a while now. I think it's time to get back into the thick of it and talk about some of the amazing parts of the laws of power. Step 3 when it comes to your amazing power is to borrow from the forms of organized religion to structure the group. Find a way to both elevate and comfort in elevation. Create rituals of your followers. Give some titles and demand tribute. Don't reveal the wealth that comes from these tributes, otherwise, well, you're going to get taxed for it. And always do what human nature has been doing for the last 30,000 years, make an us versus them environments. Okay, that is basically what we're going to be talking about today in the Laws of Power. It isn't much, admittedly, but I know you guys enjoy it, so I'll let you know in a couple more weeks we'll add more to that, of course. Now, what we're going to be talking about next. Oh yeah, basically, when it comes to organized religion, which is what basically a cult is, whether you believe it or not, I don't know. I honestly think there's a little bit of cult in everybody. I think everyone would, if run correctly or properly, would find some use of a cult. There's lots of people out there who have no meaning, and his mental health is suffering because of that. Maybe you should try and go into something organised like that. Maybe it'll make you feel better. Now, while I say this, I don't want any of you to do it in a racist or just anti-other people way. There is enough rubbish out there in this world. Just enjoy the community aspect of it, okay? Now let's continue on our next thing, which is books that will make you a stronger leader. Now, these are going to be several books recommended by several people in my life whose opinion I take as quite a big thing. Because most of these guys don't generally help out in the podcast. The writers generally get a lot more free reign with different things. But, tell me what you think. First things first, 48 Laws of Power. Obviously, you either get the book or you listen to me, because we are slowly getting our way through it. Next, Never Eat Alone. It is on my wish list on Amazon at the moment. You never know, I might get it from one of you guys. Third, first, break all the rules, because only once we break the rules do we understand how they work, what their limits are, what is the best way to manipulate around them. I honestly do think that every rule can bend. Now, if you break it, you've taken it a little too far. But that is up to you, my dear user. Little shout out to everyone in Nigeria this week, because you guys are the fastest growing group, and I give shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. Next one. Leaders eat last. That means that the leader must be the person who, well, basically watches everybody eat and makes sure they're safe before they start eating. Next, extreme ownership. I've been told to add this to the list by one of my writers who never came back to me as to why. Maybe he's trying to have some ownership extremely over this podcast. You never know. Go check that one out as well. Next one, Principles of Life and Work, recommended by so many different people. It said it made them think differently. And as someone who thinks differently on a daily basis, maybe I should read it as well. What do you think? The Introverted Leader. Now, that generally wouldn't work, you would think to yourself, but there is a lot of use of being introverted. Read that book and find out. And finally, The Radical Condor, because I just think that's a funny name for a book. Check it out. It's in all good bookstores and most of the bad ones as well. And to finish us off tonight, and it is night when I'm recording this, we are going to continue on with the ever-popular TikTok randomizer. First things first, there is an app called Public App that offers 0 fees on standard stock trades, and every once in a while it will give you a free stock worth between $3 and $1,000. Check that out. Not sure how they make money, probably through ads. Next, some rules for men. When I say this, it can anyone can listen to it, but I'm deliberately talking out to the men out there who are suffering because they are not very confident in themselves. Now, I do a lot of work with mind, so if you do feel like you're hitting a wall, go talk to someone there and they will help you. Never reply when angry. Never promise when excited. Never bring up the past when someone has changed. AKA, if someone was fat, don't bring that up. If someone is talking about their own achievements, don't bring up your own. Think about that. No third chances. And finally, no peer pressure. Think about them and use them in your life. Next, one of my writers is learning how to get into the music business at the moment, and she wanted me to tell you that the best book to read for that is literally called All You Need to Know About the Music Business. I just thought that was the most uninspired name of any book ever. Please check that. Next, strange but effective advice. If you double blink at something, it helps you memorize better. Now, I wish I knew that during college, but hey, it's better learn now than not at all. How to make a move on a girl. First, if you're sitting next to her and you're both laughing, put a hand on her thigh and put her leg on yours. Grab her waist and smile. When you're sitting beside her, rub thumbs in circles on her lower back. Honestly, I don't think this will work, but hey, good luck to you guys. Travel hacks. Roll your clothes. Well, you'll do that. And use packing cubes to maximize luggage space, aka the things you suck the air out of. And also using incognito mode when you are booking flights. Tag luggage as fragile or handle with care. Find hostels or hotels that include breakfast as much as possible. Always carry a pen and paper with you on all flights. Bring an empty water bottle with you and fill them once you're past customs, obviously. Ask for 2 drinks when flight attendants are serving food and beverages. And download a map before going to a new destination, because you do not know if you'll have signal unless you are using one of the better options out there, which is Smarty. I pay about 20 quid a month and I get unlimited data. It is not the best signal on earth, but for the money, it is definitely worth it. And finally, tips for straight hair. First of all, you're going to work on your texture. So your barber wants texture. You've got to use a layering up product. It worked. Check that out. A lot of people use sea salt spray. Basically, the sea salt spray is the best what you can use. It starts to look like hairspray after a while, but it does work quite well. I recommend it. And that is all we have to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a lovely talking to you. I hope you've enjoyed this week's podcast. I hope you enjoy the photos I post on Instagram, and I hope you enjoy the video that will eventually be on YouTube of some of the swimming enjoyment in Frankfurt. Thank you so much, everyone. And as always, thank you. And I do say this often, don't I? Thank you